I'll wait till she comes back. We're going to start the July 28th, 7 p.m. regular board meeting. Secretary, call the roll, please.
Valencia. Here. Cifuentes.
Here.
Reyes. Here. Lache.
Here.
Olivas.
Here.
Moreno.
Here.
Johnson.
Here.
Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag, United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, we're going to move on to public comment. All right, we do have one speaker. In order to speak at the board meeting, you would have had to sign up before 7 p.m. Respect the 3-minute time limit and respect the confidentiality of students and staff. Edgard Hunya Soto.
Okay. Hello, my name is Edgar Hunes. I'm going into my junior year in East Aurora High School. And tonight I'm accompanied by other fellow student athletes from East Aurora High School. Today I want to speak to you about starting a boys volleyball program at East Aurora. Volleyball has always been a big part of my life. Both of my older sisters have gone through the volleyball program at East. My older sister is now the varsity assistant coach, and my second oldest sister is going to her senior year as a player. Their dedication and love for the game have deeply inspired me and my younger sister, who now plays for the middle school team at Simmons. Unfortunately, I've never had the chance to play volleyball in school because East Aurora does not offer a boys volleyball program. Despite my passion for the sport, there simply hasn't been enough space for boys to participate. In fact, if you look at the current sports offering at East Aurora, there are more teams and opportunities available for girls than there are for boys. While this is great for female athletes, it also highlights an imbalance. Adding a boys volleyball program would not only take away from any existing programs, it would simply bring balance and offer boys the same opportunity to pursue a sport they love, just as my sisters have. That's why I'm here today, to advocate for change. I believe East Aurora should give the same opportunity to boys that's already provided for girls. A boys volleyball program would not only benefit students like me, but it would also promote inclusivity, athletic growth, and school pride. We've also taken upon ourselves to start a petition, and we've received more than 200 signatures before this meeting. However, it is still going, and we're fully confident that we'll receive more. I hope that today we can take our first step towards making that vision a reality. Thank you for listening.
Thank you.
Edgar and the rest of the student athletes, thank you so much for your advocacy. We're all about trying to find ways to make sure that our students feel involved, engaged, and belong in school. So your proposal to us is something that we'll definitely take into consideration and see if there's opportunities out there in the future for us. So thank you so much for the way you handled the situation and coming up to advocate for yourselves as student athletes. We truly appreciate it.
Thank you. All right, we'll move on to communications from the superintendent, Dr. Halverson.
Sure. Thank you, Board President Cifuentes. Tonight we have 4A1, which is the board workshop. I just wanted to make an announcement that on September 10th, 2025 at 6 p.m., we will have a board workshop with the superintendent and the IASA to come out and host a board workshop for us. So I wanted to make sure that we were all on the same page and we had that date saved. Thank you to those of you who reserved the time with Lisa when she reached out. We truly appreciate it. Next, when you look at 4A2, we have our back to school fair on August 9th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. and that's at East Aurora High School. It's a great opportunity for all of our families to come out, celebrate the start of the school year together. We have each school in the district with tables there. We have our annual backpack giveaway where we hand out supplies to all of our students. Just a great way to kick off the school year, and we'll have a lot of community partners there as well. So I encourage you all to attend that. And then we have 4A3, which is the FY 25-26 budget presentation. And Dr. Mike Engel will go through the budget presentation briefly this evening. And then we'll move on to the item 5, motion to approve the consent agenda items after he's concluded. Thank you.
Okay, absolutely. So tonight we're going to go through the FY 26 tentative budget. So as you can see here, here's the timeline for it. We've gone through the timeline before. Not much has been updated here. I just want to give a kind of an overview. So the month of August, we're going to continue to update and refine the FY 26 budget. All the federal grants should hopefully be finalized by then. We will hopefully be receiving that second week in August some additional state updates for evidence-based funding. Typically, it comes out August 15th, August 16th, somewhere in there. So on the next board meeting coming up on August the 4th, we'll have a resolution to adopt the FY 26 tentative budget. The budget will also go on public display at that point in time for 30 days. On the September the 15th Board of Education meeting, we'll have a public hearing, and we will have it as an action item that evening for the board to approve said budget. Next slide. So here are some of the assumptions for this year. So the corporate personal property replacement tax is decreasing by approximately 20%. Interest income will remain strong at a 4+%. State categoricals will decrease by 3%, mainly due to transportation and the proration amounts. State categorical payments will be on time, assuming all 4 payments for this year. Rollovers have not been calculated into the FY 26 budget yet for grants. Evidence-based funding has not yet been released for FY 26, and federal funding at this point in time, there's a $2 million decrease. As of a couple days ago, I want to say last week, Friday, there was a letter that went out from the U.S. Department of Education stating that they were going to be funding Title I, II, III, and IV. We just don't have those amounts as of yet, but that is coming. Salaries on average have increased by 3.75%. Benefits approximately have increased by 8%. Purchase services by 3%. Transportation across the board is up, both for special ed and regular transportation at 4%. Supplies and materials this year will remain flat, and utility costs are both up for natural gas and electric per the contract. Next slide. So here is the revenue summary by fund. As you can see, the education fund has the largest amount of revenue at just over $196 million, making up 74% of our total budget. Operations and maintenance fund at $21.3 million, about 8%. Debt service at 5.6%. Transportation at 6.3%. IMRF and Social Security at 3.2%. Capital projects at 2.3%, and working cash at 0.3%, for a grand total of $265 million and change. This is a representation of breakdown of visual. As you can see, the big blue section there, that's the education fund, followed by O&M there in the orange, debt service there in gray, kind of that light orange, transportation, IMRF, that light blue, capital projects, the green, and then obviously working cash and toward the small little amounts there. Next slide. So this is the biggest change from FY 26 versus FY 25. As you can see, local sources are relatively the same. They went up a slight bit, but the state really is the majority now with $179 million of funding, making up 67.7%. If you look at federal, as you guys will remember, the days of ESSER funds and being about 20% of our budget, it's down to 10% of our budget now. So this is the biggest change there on the federal side. So this is the expense by summary. As you can see, again, very similar to revenue. Education fund is our largest fund there. We have $200 million in expenditures, so about 74% of our total expenses come from the ed fund. Operations and maintenance at 7.9, and with just a little bit over 21 million. Debt service at 14.5 million at 5.5%. Transportation just over 20 million at 7.6. Social Security and IMRF at 6.3 million, and capital projects at $5.5 million, for a grand total of $268 million. Next slide. Here it is. As you guys can see, The ed fund is, again, 3/4 of our expenditure budget, followed by O&M at 8%, debt service at 5%, and transportation at 8%. Next slide. So here's all the expenses broken out by object. The biggest object that we have are salaries. Salaries make up 50.5%, or just a little bit over $135 million. Benefits at 34.5 million at 12.8%. Purchase services at 50 million at 18.8. Supplies and materials at 15.3. Capital outlay at 7.2. Other objects including debt service at 24. And then non-capital outlay at 1.2 million for 268 million. So here is the breakdown. As you can see, 2/3 of it is made up by salary and benefits there. Next slide. So in summary, right now, we're anticipating a $2.8 million shortfall for FY26. It makes up about 1.1%, but keep in mind that this is a working document. As we get more information, obviously, from the state and federal sources, we're going to keep this up to date, and any updates, bring it back to you. Okay, any questions?
Any questions?
Okay, so I have some questions. So, first of all, I'm a little surprised to see a deficit that usually has not occurred in the past, but do you expect to see that deficit go away?
In the entirety, it depends on what evidence-based funding comes out with on August the 15th.
So we're still a tier 1 school district, correct?
We're sliding into tier 2. We are at that point where we are. This last year we were tier 2. We're just right above that threshold. So I'm not sure exactly what the proration amount of new money is going to be in tier 2 versus tier 1. It also is going to be a reflection of not just our school district, but every other school district in the state to see how they've done as well. There's going to be movement, and I don't know what that movement's going to be yet.
So you're not budgeting anything for the tort fund?
Right now, tort coming in, not much, no.
I think, that's something that needs to be reflective, but, okay, so, and what do you anticipate with doing with the tax levies and things like that?
The tax levy, we would probably go for the CPI of December, last year, December, so just under 3% as an extension.
Mhm.
Just a normal tax levy for this upcoming year, because we can't go beyond the CPI. And there's not a lot of new growth so far this year.
Well, you can't go beyond 5%, so you're expecting 3%, correct?
Well, we can levy up to 5%.
Mhm.
However, we're indexed off of the CPI, so it would, even if it was at, we asked for 5, we'd still be at 3% plus any new growth.
All right. So again, what is the plan to decrease the budget?
Right now, there's about a 1.1% difference between revenue and expenditures right now. And it's going to be a little bit of belt tightening for this upcoming year and trying to find some discretionary funds to try to help balance the budget throughout the year. And I look at it this way: we have 12 months to kind of right the ship. And I think if multiple departments just kind of do their part, we can make this up in the given year. But as of right now, and the information that we have from both state and federal sources, this is the revenue that we have for the year.
Well, we never go into a deficit budget, so I think that in terms of our committees, we need to look at the individual department budgets and see exactly what we're spending money on, and then we need to start decreasing those types of amounts. Also, in terms of buildings and grounds, what is the major expenditures there that can be pushed backwards or not pushed backwards?
So we have looked at the 5-year kind of capitalized plan, and there is some movement. I want to say with Andy's department there, with some windows, with some tuck pointing that could be pushed. So, and we're just waiting on final decisions for those.
Mhm. So I think that we do not have deficit budgets. We should not be having a deficit budget. That just does not happen in District 131. So you just don't start to spend our money and have a deficit. So I think that we really need between now and August to tighten that gap, and I'd like to see what that gap is.
Absolutely.
So, okay.
Any other questions?
No.
All right. We'll move on to the consent agenda. Motion to approve. Can I get a motion to approve the following consent agenda as listed?
So moved.
Any questions? All right, hearing none. Secretary, call the roll, please.
Reyes,
Yes.
Valencia,
Yes.
Johnson,
No, and I will be voting no on the personnel report as far as the administrative hires. I do believe in climate and culture in our district, and we have viable candidates for those positions. I do believe we should hire those positions. I'm also voting no on the list of bills, so we will discuss that at a later date.
LaShay,
Yes.
Cefuentes.
Yes.
Olivas,
Yes.
Moreno,
Yes.
I believe we've got some introductions. All right.
Thank you. First and foremost, we are pleased to announce Miss Brittany Walker as the new Public Relations Officer. Thank you, Ms. Walker. Ms. Walker recently served as Communications and Community Relations Coordinator for District 94 in West Chicago. Previously, Ms. Walker was Campus Activities Coordinator at the Illinois Math and Science Academy and also served as the College and Career Readiness Coordinator for School District U46 in Elgin, where she was responsible for communications and outreach to increase college access and community engagement. She holds a Bachelor of Arts in Broadcast Journalism and Radio from Columbia College, Chicago. Ms. Walker, welcome. Next, we are pleased to introduce Mr. Jeffrey. I'm going to Winsek. Did I get that right, sir? Thank you. As our new school safety and security manager. Mr. Winsek brings extensive experience in law enforcement, security, and school safety. Most recently served as the safety specialist for the DuPage Regional Office of Education. He has also served as the security manager at Rush Copley Memorial Hospital and an adjunct professor at North Central College. In addition, he served for 25 years as part of the Aurora Police Department, where he served in a variety of leadership roles. He holds a Bachelor of Arts in Industrial and Organizational Psychology with a minor in Business Administration from North Central College. Welcome.
All right. We'll move on to curriculum and programs with Mr. Olivas.
Thank you. We had our curriculum committee meeting this evening here at 6 o'clock in the admin center. Our minutes will be shared at our next meeting. Thank you.
All right, we'll move back up. I apologize. I scrolled a little too far down. So now we'll go over to Ms. Reyes for Finance and Personnel Committee.
Good afternoon, everyone. Buenas tardes a todos. So the Finance and Personnel Committee met last July 2025 at 5:30 here at the Administrative Center. And we went over some stuff. Dr. Engel went over some donation information. Oh, 1 second, I can't see. So Dr. Engel presented all of the donations received by the district, to which the committee agreed that the donations were in order. We went over the monthly financial reports. Again, Dr. Engel presented the financial reports for May 2025. There were no questions on the financial reports, and the committee agreed that the financials looked in order. And as he did just moments ago, he also presented the fiscal year 26 budget timeline with the dates that he previously stated. After Dr. Engel's presentation of the timeline, Dr. Halverson confirmed that there will be no need to conduct an additional board meeting for the budget's approval. We also spoke about a demographic study. Dr. Engel summarized the purpose of a demographic study, which tracks a timeline of births, movement, and enrollment in the district to provide analysis of future enrollments. He continued that this particular type of study is typically performed every 5 to 7 years, and that after reaching out to a few professional demographers, the district received 2 proposals, one of which he will be recommending for action at the next Board of Education. Mr. Cifuentes asked if asked about the timeline of the last study, to which Dr. Engel informed us that the last study was performed around 15 years ago. So definitely due for that. We also went over a review of the revisions to the IASB press board policies. Dr. Ballard kindly stated the policies, and there were some special attention made to the following. Policy 5100, the continuation of updates via IASB press for students that are parents or expecting parents who have been victims of domestic or sexual abuse. The revision to this policy will ensure that training will be available for staff to deal with this population of students. Policy 6150, expansion of home and hospital instruction criteria for students. Policy 6235, adoption of language regarding AI. Per the district's attorneys, there are few options: to adopt as is, to modify, or to not change at all. Dr. Ballard then continued that the administrative team is recommending not to adopt the current language, but instead gather a group of stakeholders to create a more comprehensive plan for language around AI to present at a later date. Mr. Cifuentes followed up by asking about the timeline of implementing these changes, to which Dr. Ballard responded that as the subject of AI is changing rapidly, the administrative team wants to provide language that is broad enough to encapsulate various perspectives and any changes that might occur. Dr. Halverson then also shared that his team hopes to have the plan completed by January of 2026, as they would like for staff and students to be involved in the process due to the language surrounding training for students and staff. And we also did have one request for an FTE for a preschool grant secretary. Dr. Ballard stated that the preschool and Jumpstart program budgets have increased by at least 1 million in grant funds, which will present an increase in workload for staff. As such, an additional secretary will be needed to support the preschool program, and that salary will be paid from grant funding. The meeting then adjourned at 5:41 p.m. And we do have an action item, 5B1, motion to approve the demographic study agreement with John D. Casarda in the amount of $19,400.
So moved.
Second.
Any questions? Secretary, call the roll, please.
Yes.
Cefuentes.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes.
Olivas.
No.
LaShay.
Yes.
Reyes.
Yes.
Moreno.
Yes.
All right, we'll move on to section 8, Building and Grounds Committee with
one-
Mr. What was that?
So I just want to inform about the next meeting. The Finance and Personnel Committee meeting will meet on Monday, August 4th, 2025 at 5:30 p.m. here at the Administrative Center. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. All right, we'll move on to Building and Grounds with Mr. Lofshay.
Thank you. We met on July 7th, and Mr. Allen reported that summer projects are progressing, and we completed the Johnson roof and the windows at O'Donnell. The high school air conditioning units have been lifted in place at East, and they should be finished on schedule. Career Technical Center update was given by Mr. Allen that several people from the district, including Dr. Amy Engel, visited South Elgin High School and Streamwood High School, who have similar spaces. And Dr. Amy Engel is working with high school administration to develop the best use for the plan. We're still thinking of opening fall of 2027, but we're not going to start building it at least till next spring, but probably next fall. East Aurora High School boiler is being removed. Waldo does not have a stage, but money's been slated for that in the IT budget, so that should, is that going to be for this fall, Andy? Waldo stage or next?
Yes, we're working on RFP right now for proposals to replace the audio visual stuff on the stage because theirs is very dilapidated and older, non-functional in many regards. So we're working on that right now to release soon and see what the proposals come back. We'll bring that back to the committee.
Cool, thanks. So Johnson Elementary School, earlier in the year, the board approved purchase through grant money for a younger age appropriate playground for the Jumpstart program. Further grant money has been obtained to include playground equipment and is shade appropriate for 6 months to toddlers. So that will come back before the board for full approval. We talked about ComEd monitoring program. Train's going to help us get into that, and it should save us 5 to 15% for the whole district, which would be great. East Aurora High School Business Lab. IT department has already budgeted for this. So to stay current with technology, we're going to improve the computer lab at East. And we had a summary on the work orders. And that was it. Our next meeting is August 4th, Monday at 6 p.m. And I don't think there's action item. Motion to, we needed someone to approve an action item. Motion to approve the purchase of 30 new computers for the high school lab 202 from CDW in the amount of $29,700.
So move.
Second.
Any questions? Hearing none, Secretary, call the roll, please.
Cefuentes,
Yes.
Valencia,
Yes.
Olivas.
Yes.
LaShay,
Yes.
Moreno,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Reyes.
Yes.
All right, I need a motion to go into executive session for the purpose of discussing land acquisition, student discipline, negotiations, and the appointment, employment, performance, compensation, and dismissal of a specific employee.
So moved.
Second.
Secretary, call the roll, please.
Reyes,
Yes.
LaShay,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Valencia,
Yes.
Cefuentes,
Yes.
Moreno,
Yes.
Olivas.
Yes.
And there will be action. All right, I need a motion to reconvene from executive session.
Move.
Second.
Secretary, call the roll.
Yes.
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 Moreno,
Yes.
Cefuentes.
Yes.
Valencia.
Yes.
All right, the next item on the agenda, motion to approve general release of claims by Lisa Caparelli Ruff as reviewed in closed session.
So moved.
Second.
Any questions? Hearing none, Secretary, call the roll, please.
Yes.
Cefuentes.
Yes.
Moreno,
Yes.
Olivas.
Yes.
Reyes,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
LaShay.
Yes.
Motion to adjourn.
So move.
Second.
Secretary, call the roll.
LaShay,
Yes.
Reyes,
Yes.
Cefuentes.
Yes.
Valencia,
Yes.
Olivas.
Yes.
Moreno,
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes.
Weird.
You can go to bed now.